What's up everybody, Gundamflexing here, and today we're going to be checking out the RE100 Vigna Ghina II, or the Vigina II for short. You can find this model featured in Gundam F91 variations. At the time of this video, you can find this model off Amazon for roughly around $20, which is a pretty good deal considering that most modern or most recent release of Reborn 100s are roughly around $35. Speaking of, this model was released I think in May of 2019, so it's still fairly recent. This model kit, I love it. It has a really cool color scheme, black and red. It also comes with a decal sheet, minimal easy stickers, and I really enjoy building the weapon systems as well. What I think this model is lacking is the opportunity to panel line even more. So if you have a scribbing tool, this would be a perfect kit to do it on. Because it's colored black and white, again panel lining's black, I think it really makes some of the details pop out. Before we go into the model you see in front of you, I'd like to go over all the extra pieces as tradition. But the thing to note is that when you finish this model, there are a ton of extra pieces left over in the runner. So I'm going to cover what I find the most interesting, and here it is. This is the bazooka. So if you have the Vigina 1, the Reborn 100, that one has a bazooka system. And here it is again, it's all black. If you look in the instruction pamphlet, you'll notice that there aren't any instructions to how to build it, but fortunately, just looking at it, it's very simple. You have the body of the bazooka, and you put the trigger in the center, and then you put the cap at the end, and then you're done. So technically, the bazooka is not supposed to be with this model, but it's pretty cool. They do offer it, and it's very simple. And if we look at the decal sheet, here's the decal sheet. As you could tell, I didn't use a lot. I just used enough where I thought was pretty noticeable. Here where my left thumb is at, this is the emblem that goes on his shield bearer, and you got the center emblem for his head. And you notice you have an elongated piece. That also goes on his head, and I recommend not trying to one-shot this in one go. I recommend just cutting it up in at least 4 equal pieces and then putting it on his head. That way you won't be able to mess up. And I bring that up because when I was trying to one-shot it, I accidentally tore it, so no harm, no foul. It still went on, but that's just something to be aware of. And this is his sticker sheet. You'll notice that he has a lot of elongated red stickers, and they primarily go on his shoulder fins. What I like about these is that it is very easy to build. There is some sort of like grout you could follow, and the stickers covers more than enough area. That way you don't have any black bleeding through it. Stickers. Oh, and everything else is pretty simple to build as well. I have to find out where this one goes, so I'm going to have to reread the instructions, and I believe these are extras. Now, if we look at his weapon systems, we're going to first go over his beam rifle. Right here. This is his beam rifle with the extra hand adjustment right there. You'll notice that he has a trigger hand, and unfortunately, if we're going to cover the fists right now, all his hands, total hands in this kit is just 3, and he only has 1 trigger hand, which is his right hand, which is currently on the weapon system. And it sort of makes sense because this weapon system also has a scope, and it's only on the left side, so that's pretty unfortunate. Pretty much his entire trigger finger is just 1 hand. But this weapon is pretty sleek. I really like it. It's really easy to build too, only several pieces, and of course the muzzle. Here is his shield, which is just typical like the Vigina 1, except this one is yellow. This is how you mount the shield into his left arm, and it's important to note that this is not interchangeable, so you can only put it on his left arm and left arm only, nothing on his right arm. It's very simple to build, very simple to take apart, the shield. And he has 2 beam sabers. If you know me, I keep all my beam sabers in the runners. I really don't like to cut them out. And the beam sabers themselves, at least the handles, is behind him, mounted on his back skirt. And speaking of, I just also want to bring up that this weapon system has no mounting, so if you're not going to use it, just put it in a box. And then finally, his most unique weapon system is this Lancer shooter thing. And this is what I think makes it really unique, is the Lancer could go all the way out. And if you wanted to use the Lancer individually, you could just take it all the way out. It's pretty tall, stands pretty tall. At least it's taller than the model as well. It's pretty cool, but unfortunately, if you take the Lancer out, it pretty much renders this base of the weapon useless because it does require to use the Lancer. And luckily, it's very simple. You could just put the Lancer in, or you could extend it out however you want it, just like he's about to shoot it. The Lancer weapon system. Oh, and unlike the beam saber, or excuse me, unlike the beam rifle, you're able to use this interchangeably throughout the hands because inside there is a holder, so it's able to grip it very, very well in his hands. And I'm just going to show you with this one. I'll try not to stab my own camera. His hands are a little bit tight, but in the opening of the hands, right here, this is where the Lancer weapons could go in, and that's what creates a very good tight grip on the weapon system, so it doesn't have to fall out. And it does help you whenever you make some dynamic poses to prevent the weapon system from sliding out. We're going to try to do it like that. Now we can look at the model. So here's his head. He does have stickers for his eyes. You have the decal emblem right there, very easy to apply. And of course you see the long yellow sticker right here. Again, recommend using a hobby knife, cutting it up in even pieces, and then putting it on. Because if you're trying to adjust it too much, you may accidentally tear it. He has a pretty cool fin, also, from the center of his head, all the way to the back. You'll notice he doesn't have a big side collars, so he's able to twist and turn all the way around. And what I also like about this model is his unique little backpack right here. It may look big, but I guarantee you it's very simple to build. It has black thrusters, which I think is pretty cool. And here's his wings, or his fins, that could go up and down like this. If we look at the back, he has thrusters at the bottom, which you could sort of like move around, but they are separate pieces, which I think is pretty cool. So you'll notice here is they're a little bit raised, and I'm going to try to match it. I'm just going to raise it up just a bit like that, or you can just put them all down like that into the bedding. He also has two additional thrusters in the center, and they're connected to a backpack. This is mobile, like this, like this. You can raise it, lower it, shoot it to the side by side like that. And I think that is a pretty cool feature to have. If we look at his chest, I think this is one of the areas that is a little bit lacking. We could have at least added a few lines to for the opportunity for the builders to do panel lining, but I do like the vents that's coming out of his chest. I think that's pretty cool. We look at his shoulders. We have yellow piping systems, which again, you may want to do panel lining, like put it in the center. That way you can make it stand out, pop out a little more. Here is his fins that are able to go up and down. That's pretty much the limit of its mobility. You can't really twist and turn it forward and backwards, just up and down against the shoulder. Here we see the mount for the shield, and again, it's the only one. His left arm is the only one that could carry the shield, which is it's a little unfortunate. So you see here, none on the right hand. We look at his skirt. It is scattered a few black pieces, which I think is pretty cool. You notice I also added a tad bit of decals right there. And on the back of his skirt is where you mount his beam saber handles. They're going to be there forever and ever and ever and ever. Very easy to put in. You'll notice the red rectangles. The end of the sabers pretty much go in there, so it fits very tight, very snug. It won't slide in and out, no issues. There. If we look at his legs, one of the biggest problems I had with his legs in terms of the instructions was his thigh right here. You notice I attempted a very pathetic attempt using cement glue right here, and it still didn't even seam everything together. So just be aware, if you're ever going to get this kit, his right, actually both thighs, the way it's connected to the knee joint is a little bit strange for me. I didn't really like it. And if it doesn't fit, don't try to force it, because if you do, you may expand some of the plastic pieces, like the little pillars where it's supposed to connect, and I think that's where I messed up. So it is painful to watch that, and I am going to have to try to take this apart again and try to fix it. Use some putty, use some paint, and hopefully no one will notice, ever. The rest of his legs, although it looks impressive, especially this part here, I really like this right here. The little ventilation shafts right here at the front of his legs. Although his legs may look big, aside from the joint pieces, the pieces themselves are actually very big, so it's quite simple to build. Here we see his kneecap system right here, which could have been yellow just to match the top, which I thought would be pretty cool. He has a kneecap right here, which is like 2 pieces. The main body of the leg, which is like, again, 2 pieces. And at the back of his legs, we have some pretty cool thrusters. So each leg has 3, and they are movable to go up and down like this. And you know the tips are gray because those are sticker pieces. Very easy to apply here. And in the back, he has a skirt for his heels, and in the front, he has another skirt for his feet. Here's his feet. You could go right here, twist and turn like this. He has pretty much forward flexion. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any heel flexion, so he can't really try to touch his heels to his toes. Here we have another sticker. So again, I think the legs are pretty cool, minus this right here, which I totally screwed up, and just frustrates me, so I'm gonna have to go back and try to fix it. I think he's a very sturdy model, because once you pose him, it's going to be very difficult for him to move out of position, unless if like an external force hits him. He grips his weapons pretty strong, and again, comes with decals, stickers, nothing to complain about. It is lacking, in my opinion, more opportunities to panel line. So if you like this color scheme, you want to add more black, definitely get a scribbler and do it. So that's all I have to say about this model. It's definitely worth the $20-something or the $23 I purchased it for. If you want, I could definitely recommend some other Reborn 100s that are a little bit better, but at the time, I really enjoyed the build. So that's all I have to say about this model. If you have any questions or comments, please post it down in the section below. As always, I appreciate you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.